So my name's Jonathan Brake. Got an extensive background in business. I'm originally from Australia, which is no surprise when you hear my accent, particularly around here. And so we've lived in this area now for 7 years, moved to the US as a leadership and strategic coach. And as an entrepreneur, I saw a lot of opportunity here in the US. My background goes back right through. I'm the son of a small business owner. My dad was a pharmacist. I worked in his pharmacy from 5-10 years of age, and just really learned a lot, loved the customer experience, ended up in kind of the hotel hospitality space, and then went from there into marketing. And so in my marketing roles, I worked in a little bit of corporate, places like Xerox, people like that, but then went into non-profit marketing, and from there jumped into a startup in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I was part of the original .com boom and bust. and so then the 2000s were very much, I launched out on my own and started a marketing agency. And then went through 3 iterations of that. One didn't go so well, and that's a whole other story. It teaches you a lot. But that whole journey of working with people and helping people innovate and helping people develop not just brands and messages, but sometimes develop products and think through the ideation process and get them to the innovation process and get them launched. I worked as a federal government lobbyist in Australia, and then shifted purely out of pure marketing into more executive leadership, leadership coaching, which kind of ended up being what I'm doing here. So here, now I do predominantly executive leadership coaching, working with strategic leadership. So senior leaders that are strategizing regularly, that are developing ideas, and are looking to go to the next space. Often they're in some kind of transition. All my senior roles have been transitional roles. And so that's where I find I have a really nice home today. So,
all right, excellent, thank you. How do you view, from your perspective, your experience, the importance of innovation and creativity for the entrepreneur?
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean, you prepped me with some of these questions, and I thought about this whole concept of innovation and creativity, because you even ask, is it the same thing? And it's like, no, they're actually very different things. And I'll take you back to a story when we had a graphic design studio in Australia, and we had artists and we had people who could implement drawings and design. So I always say to our creative people, you can be as creative as you like, you can create art, and they would layer, but they'd usually be pretty horrible at then taking that design and implementing it into a business or making it work so it made sense for a customer. And so that's where I learned this very early on. So this whole idea of, I think creativity is this space where it's just a space just to think and just to come up with wild stuff, right? I mean, we're standing in a beautiful building. That was someone's wild imagination at one stage. Something in this building was just an idea. It wasn't formed. They hadn't thought about how it's all going to go together. And I think then the innovation process is very much taking those great ideas and saying, okay, these are the things we should focus on to actually turn it into something.